And what's up, YouTube? It's your pal Moonstone, and today I am going to do something that is pretty special because over the past year, when I started uploading videos, I feel like that a lot has changed for me. Not just with me personally, but around my house, at school, and basically my whole life altogether. And there's a few things that I think it's time I say to you guys. Before we do that, I'll give a big thank you to all for helping me reach 556 subscribers. This really means a lot, guys. I never expected to get this far, but I guess people like my content. And I do want to give one extra thing. I'm going to be uploading another Wolf Father Adopts You ASMR video soon, but the scripts for those take a while to write, so you might wait a little longer, just so you know. But anyway, on to my story. I'm not sure how to start this, but I think the first thing I should probably start is something that you guys probably have already assumed. Some people actually assumed it already. Is that I am adopted. Now, I wasn't adopted when I was at a younger age. If you guys are expecting me to tell some story about me being an orphanage or anything like that, I was adopted directly from when I was a baby. And the sad reality behind that is because my birth mom, she wasn't in any condition to take care of me or my twin brother. She was poor, she drank too much, and she inherited us down to one of her closest friends. And I never knew that. Like, for my whole life, I always wondered why I never looked like my siblings. Back when I was around 3, me and my brother had a bunch of other siblings living with us, like Cora, Janny. Those aren't their real names. I'm just giving examples what the names sound like. And they were just so much older than us. I'm serious. When we were 6, most of them have already moved out and onto their own. And none of them have really reached college, so they just went straight to having a family and straight to moving apartments and stuff. But I'll get to that later. And it just kept bugging me. But eventually, that thought faded away. I didn't really care why I looked nothing like my siblings. I don't really care about any of that. I just always figured it was the same reason I don't look like my twin, because we weren't identical twins, and that was that. And things just went normal for a while. But around the age of 7, I noticed things were a little bit off. I noticed that I was becoming more different from when the other kids were. I mean, they seemed to be interested, to me, the things they were interested were weird and odd, and I always pictured the stuff that I was interested to be normal, like, that's what everyone should be doing, and that it just is how it's supposed to be. I feel like the first clue that something was off with me was probably when I had to go into plastic surgery. Or not plastic surgery, just the type of surgery, because since my birth mom was a drinker and not the best type of person, I had a small mutation on my body that I had to get surgery on, so that way I could function normally. And it was in my male private part. I remember, the best surgery I remember, I was being wheeled away in this giant bed, and there's a bright light shining above me and this weird lamp, and after that, I just went blank. Looking back at it now, I wish I didn't talk about it with everyone, because to me I thought it was kind of cool, like some sci-fi alien movie. Looking back at it now, I feel like I should have kept most of that to myself. But by the time that this video was posted, all those other kids probably forgot about it. So that was my first big clue that I was just different. Now, my twin brother never had anything like that done on him, mostly because he never needed it to. Except that one time our dog attacked him and he had to get stitches on his head. But from the next 2 years, things just felt normal. But like I said, around the age of 7 and 8, that's when I started feeling more isolated. I felt like that I was kind of like the freak show. No one never told me that I was a freak show. No one never told me that I was off or a weird kid. But deep down, I just felt like I was. Most of my friends even walked up to me and said, "Hey, Moon, are you okay?" Because look in their eyes, they really did look worried about me. But I just couldn't escape the feeling like that they were lying. They weren't lying, they were telling the truth, but my mentality was telling me that no, that wasn't the case. And I started to play alone. Now, I still played with my brother, and to me, I feel like that was good enough. But eventually, my brother stopped playing, and I was just in my own little world. And from then on out, I made up a lot of stuff in my mind. I would create stories using Lego figurines, I would draw my own comic books, and I would show them with you guys, but I don't think any of them are still around anymore. I'm pretty sure they're all in the trash now, mostly because they were poorly drawn and I didn't see any reason to save them, which I regret to this day, because I feel like it would have been nice to show you guys some of my work. But trust me, they were terrible. The artwork was terrible, the story was weird, and they were just terrible. I got the idea off of Captain Underpants. And doing that stuff, it just made me feel safe again. I just began to not feel safe. And eventually, when I reached 4th grade, and we were too old to have Elf on the Shelf in our classroom, things just felt better. I mean, our teacher read to us interesting books, interesting than the last ones our old teachers read to us, and that got me really excited again. I was learning how to read, I got into stories, and I didn't have mom read to me anymore because I wanted to try and read on my own. And I fell in love with a lot of different books. I fell in love with sci-fi books and fantasy books, adventures, history. To me, that just sounded weird and not really interesting at all, and it still isn't to me to this day. And after that, some of the other kids seemed to spark my same interest again. Like, sometimes we were talking about different movies, sometimes we were talking about different action adventures, sometimes we talked about different mysteries, and my friends and I even played a mystery game a few times at recess, and things felt better again. But that was until my mom received the news that one of her siblings is sick. And they knew that he was going to die. They just knew it. So mom went on a trip to see all of her siblings for one last time since her brother was going to die soon. And they had this humongous vacation and all. And my brother and I were just stuck at home with one of my grown-up sisters. They're great people. I'm not going to lie. They have kids and they're really friendly, but I can't help but feel jealous. At first, I didn't feel jealous, but after mom told me about all the fun stuff she did, I was instantly jealous. I mean, I was like, how could you not take us? Looking back at it now, I feel like that if she did take us, it wouldn't be as magical for her. But she brought back souvenirs. She brought back a really cool necklace. It was actually a crystal from a mine that just got reopened recently because they found more gold in it. And she brought my brother a music box. It was one of those kinds that had those secret compartments in it, so you could hide stuff in it. And for me, she also bought back a mug. I know what you're thinking, why a mug? The reason this mug is so special is because it said, I have autism. It didn't say Moonstone has autism, it just said the words, I have autism. And I was like, Mom, what's autism? And she was like, oh, Moon, honey, that's what you have. And I was like, say what? And she basically explained it in her own words. Now, I gotta be honest. How she explained it is almost completely different from how the actual definition is. Because if you do your research on autism, you'll find a lot of differences compared to how grown-ups explain it to how the actual professionals explain it. And I did my own research on it. I mean, I eventually started bragging about it to some of my friends. I was like, hey, look, I'm different. I'm sorry. I have autism. Please don't hate me. And they're like, yeah, sure, we know. And I was like, you guys knew what autism is before I did? And I wish I could say that that involved some sort of big, lifelong changing event, but no. After a few months, things just died down back to normal. I didn't really think about it, I didn't really care about it, and things just felt okay for me. But all that changed during the COVID pandemic. I mean, I missed out half my year of 6th grade. That was practically like half a year of my life at school, half a year of recess, and I was going into high school, so I didn't get to say goodbye to any of my friends. And by the time we saw each other again, they just weren't my friends anymore. They never said that or anything like that, but they have their own interests now, so I just isolated myself from them. I remember the day when my mom told me that I wasn't going to go back to 6th grade for the rest of the year. I felt like that I was about to just melt into a ball of flesh because 6th grade felt special to me. I loved the stuff we did in the classroom. I loved the activities we would do on Fridays for special occasions. And knowing that I wouldn't get that anymore when I reached 7th grade, it made me depressed a lot. All the online schoolwork I did, I kept failing at, and almost everything I did that was online schoolwork, it was just this. And I want to get one thing clear. I wasn't cutting myself. I wasn't doing anything like that. Not all depression means cutting yourself and stuff. It just means, like, sort of sadness, but there's more than that. But yeah, that's how I felt. And without friends staying by me, I could not but regret that I needed to sing about it sooner. And that's when I created all this. I watched a lot of YouTube during lockdown because all the YouTubers did crazy stuff to help support people who were stuck at home. And that kept me thinking, why can't I do that? So after 6th grade, I kept begging Mom, can I please have my own YouTube channel? And she was like, no, Moonstone, YouTube's dangerous, and you can only watch videos, you can't post your own videos, or else the government will hack you and try to steal you away and kidnap you for $1 bazillion and a lifetime supply of chocolate. And I was like, I think you're over-exaggerating. And there is a lot of more safety things on YouTube now than there was before, like copyright stuff and a bunch of other safety features. They even have an app called YouTube Kids. That's for kids content specifically. So if you're under the age of 12 and watch kid content, then boom, you're pretty much safe on there completely. But even nowadays, my mom still doesn't fully trust me on YouTube. And I always have my older sister, Cora, watch my videos before I publish them, or watch them after I publish them, and she gives me her feedback. And she usually has good feedback. Although, like I said, she is still kind of against me being a furry, and also really against me being a Therian, because she says a Therian is when they physically think that they are an animal and not human. Now, I feel like that's exactly what the exact definition is, but if you ask me what it means to be a Therian, it's completely different from that. But I feel like only a Therian can understand what another Therian means by that. So, if you know someone who's a Therian or are a Therian, what do you think? What would you say to that? And that was that. Eventually, when I did get my own YouTube channel, well, she gave me the permission to make it. She said, only if you don't show your face on it. And I was like, okay. Because I gotta be honest, I had really bad acne around the time when I first got my channel, and I still kind of do. It's not really as bad as before, but it's still bad to where it's kind of embarrassing to me. So, that's when I was like, I make something. But I lost creativity. Like I said, I was still experiencing somewhat depression, somewhat of a burnout during that time, especially since it was during 8th grade. So I got back into school, a lot of things were changing for me, and I just need something that would really inspire me. But, as you guys know, I'm on the furry fandom, and when I saw some other furries, famous YouTube channels, I was like, why can't I do that? So I got to working on my very first fursuit head. And if you guys seen my channel from the very beginning, you should know that it was bad. Lots of people said it was actually pretty good, and I thought it was pretty good. But looking at this one compared to that one, I feel like this one's just a bazillion times more better. It's still not finished yet. I still have to get more blue fur for the back of the neck and finish the bottom of the neck right here. But I think it's really good for my second fursuit ever made. And so began my channel. At first, I wasn't sure what to upload, so I started uploading some videos that, to me, were really interesting, like subliminals. I like to listen to subliminals a lot, and Freezing Time was one of my favorite type of sci-fi novels. That's not a sci-fi novel, but sci-fi novel topic. So I posted a time-freezing subliminal, and it's actually doing pretty well now than it was when I first uploaded it, nearly 2 years later. anyways. So, it took me a while to figure out, like, what my channel should be around, who I am, and how I should come out of this shell of isolation. And slowly, I began to realize, okay, this is where my focus should be. Oh no, that's where my focus should be. Where should my focus be? So, I gave up trying to do the videos that to me were just educational for like that. I decided to do the videos that I felt. And during the same month I was adopted, I got the idea for an ASMR roleplay. And that was the birth of Alpha Wolf Adoption ASMR roleplay series. And it's still doing pretty well. I mean, the first video is really amazing, but the newest video I uploaded in it is nothing compared to that one. But it has a good number of views. And I didn't expect it to take off. Like I said, I never expected my channel to take off at all. But slowly, it's getting better and better each day. And I keep feeling like that if I didn't choose to express myself this way, I didn't choose to make the me that I'm comfortable in, then I wouldn't have this. It was one thing figuring out I was a Therian. It was another thing figuring out that I was autistic. It was another thing to figure out that there are lots of things I don't like anymore, because most of the time when I think of something I like, but end up finding I don't like it anymore, I keep feeling like I'm throwing something away out of my life. But it's not really throwing something away, it's making room for new stuff. And when we make room for new stuff, it brings change. And if you guys know autism, then you know that lots of us don't like change that much, and I still don't. But the reason I'm telling you guys this story is because there's a big change that's going to happen to me in 2 years. In 2 years, I'm going to be 18, I'm going off to college. I actually received a scholarship to go to any college I want that's in my state, and there's a lot of colleges in my state, let me tell you. I'm not saying which state it is, but it's got a lot of colleges. And some of my biggest dreams are to be a writer, an actor, or performer. One of my first performances to where I performed from an audience was probably the talent show my school had. I did magic and ventriloquism combined together. They do actually have a tape of me doing that, but the school stage has the school logo on the bottom. So if I show you that, I'll show you which school I go to, and I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. There's privacy reasons. But there's one part that I'm actually going to get published in. I've been writing this book for a while, and since I finally finished it, I started posting on Wattpad. And it's doing okay. But recently, I decided I want to get published, like a physical book, or a digital book on Amazon. And that's the project I'll be working on over the summer. Over the summer, I'm also going to be doing some summer jobs, like mowing lawns, or maybe a proper summer job if I can find one. So I could still save money for college. And yes, I do got the scholarship, and I do still have it, but that pays for the college classes. It doesn't pay for the college dorms, or apartments, or food, or anything like that, so that has to come in my own pocket. And my mom has raised a lot of kids in her life. I mean, I have 10 siblings. 10. Most of them were grown up by the time I was born and all, but it's a little more complicated than that. So I really don't want to force her to do anything like that. When I say I'm the first sibling in my entire family to actually go to college, I mean it. I'm going to be the first one. So, knowing that my childhood is coming to an end and I have to make changes soon is really hard on my mind, but now that I'm here sharing some of my backstory with you guys, it makes me feel more confident for the future. So, future Moonstone, or me in 2 years who's watching this video, I have a few questions for you. Did you ever get your best story published? Did you ever reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this summer? And most importantly, did you do something that will be worth remembering by all? Like a video or an act or something that when someone looks back onto you years later, they can say, you were part of my childhood. Did you do anything like that? And that was my message for future me, and I'm hoping that one day I can look back on this video and say, yeah, that was me. And there's been a few things recently that makes me feel kind of sad. Like, one of my favorite YouTubers, ASMR YouTubers named Snowball, he sadly passed away. And I also have this friend from church. He was an old man, but he lived right next door to us. He felt like an uncle to me. He has recently passed away too. And like I said, School year's coming to an end. Almost time for summer. My family's gonna be doing a lot of stuff over the summer. It's not really vacation related or anything like that, but it's gonna be trying to get the house fixed up. It's not broken or anything like that, but we want to get some new stuff into it. We want to get some new, design to it. So that's gonna be a big project. So when you guys see me over the summer, you'll be seeing a lot of the more emotional me, and you're still gonna see this me, obviously, because once Moonstone, always Moonstone. But I am going to be going into some deeper topics in my ASMR roleplays, and I'm going to be a lot more expressive. But most important of all, I'm going to be there for you guys, and I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. And I always will be. Well, guys, that's all for today's video. I'm sorry this feels a little long and weird. I feel like this is the longest video I've made so far. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that someday future me could answer these questions that I've just asked. And Snowball, may God watch over you in heaven. Same thing to all my friends who passed recently. Well, guys, that's it. Until we meet again, peace. See you later. Bye. Stay possum.